What's going on, guys? Graham, Gias, and Matthews here with WrestleRant, and today marks 10 years since the 2016 WWE Men's Royal Rumble match, of course, featuring the WWE debut of AJ Styles, following his appearances on Velocity or whatever it was 20 years earlier. I think he was on one of those shows a long time earlier than that. But he did debut exactly 10 years ago today. Now, he will be in action tonight at the Saturday Night's Main Event show against Shinsuke Nakamura. So we still have that to look forward to tonight. We're not doing a watch-along of that show. Maybe at some point we will in the future do more watch-alongs for like live programming, like Saturday Night's Main Event or a pay-per-view or something. But we've been doing a lot of different streams in the last couple of weeks between the movie breakdowns, the good and best, worst, and whatever movies of 2025. We did that a couple of weeks ago with John Ritland. Last week, a live interview with Roger Clark, and I thought we'd bring back the WrestleRant watch-along here today for a match that is very special to me, one of my favorite Royal Rumble matches of all time, the 2016 Royal Rumble match, as I mentioned before, featuring the debut of one AJ Styles exactly 10 years ago today. Now, I did actually rewatch the 2001 Royal Rumble match, not on the exact anniversary, but a couple of days ago. I didn't realize until after the fact that it was the 25-year anniversary of the 2001 Rumble on Wednesday. I rewatched it on Thursday, and I put this out on the community tab the other day saying, would you guys want to see a watch-along of the 2016 Royal Rumble match? A lot of you guys said yes, so I said, fuck it, why not? We'll spend a Saturday rewatching the match, because I probably would rewatch it anyway. Why not do it here for a stream live on the channel? Daniel, what's going on, brother? Thank you for joining. I will have the chat available there on the side, so for you guys to chat in, join along, watch along as well. I will press the timer when the match gets going. Now, I have not started the show. We're not watching the entire show. We're just watching the fucking one Rumble match. You can watch just the Rumble match on YouTube. WWE has it either on their main channel or their WWE Vault channel. But I think it just starts from when the bell rings. When the bell rings, I'll get the timer going. So if you want to follow along with the match itself and not specifically where I am on the show, I'll press the timer as we get going there in a second. But I'll turn the audio on here for the computer. Now, I will not obviously play the match itself in the corner. I'll have it going, in the background. If it's too low or if it's too high, let me know. I know it becomes an issue when you have the audio of like a show like that going on in the background. I don't know what the exact best balance would be for not having it go on too loud and whatnot. So let me know if it's too loud or too soft, and if it's an issue. And I mean, getting demonetized is not really much of a problem, but if the stream gets banned or whatever, again, we're just experimenting here. I did try this previously with the NXT Vengeance Day show about a year ago and didn't really seem to have a whole lot of issues. So we're going to try it again here today. But what we're going to do, I have the show pulled up on Netflix because, like I said, I want to watch also like the entrances for like Roman Reigns coming out as the WWE champion. I want to watch the aftermath. I don't know how quickly the YouTube video cuts off when you watch the YouTube video of the match, without ads especially. We're not getting ads here on Netflix. So I'm not going to be pausing the stream or pausing the match at any point for any ads unless my fucking internet goes out. We shouldn't have any issues like that, which is good. But if you do want to follow along on Netflix for the full viewing experience that I'll be watching here today, it is the 1 hour mark, 52 minutes and 16 seconds. Again, that is 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 16 seconds. That's where I'm going to be starting. So if you're watching after the fact or with us live, if you want to pop on Netflix and follow along with where I am exactly, the match itself is on YouTube. So you don't have Netflix or whatever, you don't want to watch it on there. I think internationally it should also be on Netflix as well. You could just watch the match, and I'll let you guys know when the bell rings. You should hear it when the audio starts playing momentarily. But that's where we're going to be starting on Netflix. They actually just uploaded all the shows onto Netflix. I think earlier this month. They were previously on Peacock, of course, and now all the pay-per-views are off of fucking Peacock. Some of the NXT shows are still on there. But the benefit of all the shows being on Netflix, to me, it's a lot easier accessible. On Peacock, the ads were awful. On Netflix, I don't have ads, so I shouldn't deal with that. I haven't had that issue in the few months or the few weeks that all the pay-per-views have been on Netflix, which is good for me. There's no like timestamps for when certain matches start and certain matches end and whatnot. We don't have it as good as we used to with the WWE Network, unfortunately. I think that's gone, not even just in the U.S., which it's been gone for like 5 years now, but like worldwide, it's been gone, I think, for the last couple of months. Has been the WWE Network. But at least on Netflix, we shouldn't have any issues there watching the match in its entirety with no issues and whatnot. So what we're going to do here, I'll pull the chat back up in a second and read what you guys have been saying. Thank you for tuning in live. Be sure to like the video if you are watching live. That is very much appreciated. And subscribe. All that stuff is greatly appreciated. Do want to shout out the channel members real quickly as we get going here. Alexis, Miss Mod Matthews, Dillon, DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, Daniel Malcolm. We have, let's see, he's at I'm Quarter on X, of course. DJ Swerve 1 at Swerve 1 on IG. Mr. Marceau himself at RJ_Marceau on X. John Ritland, Real Honesty with John Ritland on YouTube. Richie, Red Planet Wrestling on YouTube. And Average Grunt at gruntwrestling.bluesky.social on Blue Sky. You get a little badge next to your name if you're a channel member. You also get first dibs on certain videos, ad-free as well. Shout-outs at the beginning and end of every single live stream that we do here on the channel, including a surprise stream on a Saturday like here today as we rewatch the 2016 Royal Rumble, and a whole lot more, so consider signing up for that. And, yeah, so what I'm going to do now is press play on Netflix, and you guys should be able to hear it. And once I do, let me know if you can hear it well, not hear it loud enough. My talking will obviously be louder than the match itself, because if it's not, that's going to pose a problem. The video might just go kaboof. It might just fucking disappear, because we're going to get banned if the audio is too loud. I'm obviously not going to show the match, like I said, but we're going to press play. Again, if you want to follow along on Netflix, it is 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 16 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. I got the one versus all Rumble graphic right now, and it's about to go to Lillian Garcia announcing the Rumble rules and whatnot. All right, so let me just pull it up here, make sure the audio is on, and I think we're good to go. So I'm going to press play in 3, 2, 1, play. All right, got the Royal Rumble graphic, and here comes Lillian Garcia with the announcement. So like I said, the timer on the video that you see here, I'm not going to press play on the timer until the match actually starts. If you want to follow just the match itself on YouTube or whatever, you could do so by pulling it up on YouTube. I think it's either on the WWE channel or the WWE Vault channel. They have the full match. And if you don't have fucking ads, you shouldn't have any issues there. Let me pull this in the corner here. Got to make sure I'm talking over most of the video, so it's not a problem with, with fucking getting the video banned and whatnot. Thank you to those chatting in. That includes Johnny. I see one of the most surreal moments in WWE history, talking about the AJ Styles debut, of course. Grunt talking about here for the anniversary of Roman's zoomed-in face. Let's go. That might actually be different on Netflix, to be fair. It's weird hearing the old Shield music with Roman coming out. I'm so used to like the Tribal Chief music and have been for a few years now, but you know, it's weird seeing him make the entrance through the crowd with the championship, no less, as he walked into this match as the defending WWE champion, which we'll get into in a minute. But Daniel said, "Don't remind me, Grunt." He also said Kevin Dunn had that role for far too long. I agree. But yeah, I don't know if on Netflix, I feel like they may have edited it at one point. They may have fixed it, where I know there's a cut on YouTube where they show AJ's full Titantron when his music hits and he comes out. We don't have to wait long to see it. We're not going to have to wait long to find out, because he's only entrant number 3. Spoiler alert, but AJ comes out extremely early in the Rumble. And they may have edited his reaction on, let me make sure that the audio here is good. It should be. But anyway, we'll find out if they edited it very early on, because they may have. I know they did on YouTube, where they don't show Roman's face. They show the Titantron from when it says "I am phenomenal" and the crowd goes nuts. Sometimes they do that. When you rewatch the 2020 Rumble, when Edge comes out, there were a lot of the parts where they didn't show, like they were showing the ring and they didn't show the crowd reaction to Edge's return. They were just showing the fucking ring. Or they missed his first spear. That's what it was. They cut away during Edge's first spear back when he came out of retirement, which was just stupid. So I guess we'll see if they changed it. I see Ahmed here. Thank you for the wave, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Nathaniel saying, "Hey, how's it going? I hope my Seahawks win tomorrow." Nathaniel, you'll be the happiest person in the world if it's Pats and Seahawks in the Super Bowl, which it very well could be if they both win their respective games tomorrow. Grunt said sound is good. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know, Grunt. I appreciate that. Rusev and Roman coming out here was significant as the first two because they actually closed the Rumble the year prior. And that was when Rusev was still like a newcomer in the company. This is also his goated theme song as well. It's much better than the theme he has now. It's when he had Lana with him. I'm going to press the timer to go in just a moment. When the match gets going, I'll press the timer to start. So for anyone that just wants to watch just the Rumble match and not all this other shit that I started beforehand, but should be starting any second. All right, there we go. Started the timer as we get going here with the Rumble. Mere seconds, and they don't really waste time with getting the Rumble match started.
I can promise you one thing, they got a long way to go and they can't keep up this pace.
Like I said, these two closed the Rumble the year prior, but what's funny is that this really does not last long. Rusev was not a threat at this point. This was back when they were doing League of Nations, and the League of Nations does play a pretty decent role in this match as far as what they do to Roman about halfway through. But Rusev is not a threat whatsoever. They get going really nicely here out of the gate with Rusev actually taking the fight to Roman, but it just doesn't last long.
62 minutes, 12 seconds.
Nathaniel also asked, how do I feel about AJ having a match tonight? I think it's cool. I don't know if AJ's actually retiring next week at the Royal Rumble, but if he is, it's cool that we get one last match with him and Nakamura on the way out, so I think that's awesome. I don't know how good the match will be tonight. They're not in their prime anymore, but it's cool that we get one last AJ Nakamura match, if this is indeed it for AJ Styles in WWE. Grunt said, I know they posted a fixed version like the day after, talking about the reactions to AJ's debut and not showing the Titantron or whatever. But he says, but I don't know if they've bothered to edit it into all releases since. Probably not. Like I said, we'll find out in about 30 seconds. Because there's the Spirit of Rusev, and then he very quickly throws him out. So as quickly as Rusev came in, he is just as quickly eliminated. And now he waits for the next entrant. And they wasted no time getting AJ into the mix here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Now they're just showing Roman's face. So they didn't fix it. And there's the pop. The fact they just showed Roman's face and not the Titantron is crazy. Oh, that reaction is still incredible. They were in Orlando for this show, so AJ was... He was fresh off his New Japan run and his Ring of Honor run. He was not in TNA right before this. He had not been in TNA for like over 2 years at this point. He was more so fresh off the New Japan stuff. He was at Wrestle Kingdom weeks earlier where he lost the Intercontinental title match to Shinsuke Nakamura. And it wasn't like this was much of a shocker. Like, we kind of knew at this point AJ was coming into the company. We kind of knew he was probably debuting in this match, but not here. The funny thing is that music, my first thought when I heard that fucking music, I loved the song, especially once I knew it was for AJ Styles. We later found out that song was made for James Storm. And when you listen to it, it makes a lot of sense. AJ's in phenomenal shape here, by the way, no pun intended. He looks fantastic, perfect hair length as well. They're going nuts for him. This is like a Taz Rumble 2000 moment. Except Taz got fucking buried after that. AJ did not. He went on to have one of the best years of his entire career in 2016 in WWE. Thankfully, Roman doesn't immediately throw him out. But anyway, my first instinct, he goes for the clash, and he doesn't get it. They actually built up to his first Styles clash. They teased it for a while until he finally hit it for the first time. I want to say in like Michael McGillicuddy, a couple of weeks later. He was using the phenomenal forearm there as a finish there for a while. But anyway, my first thought when they played that music was that I thought it was the guy from Tough Enough. The guy that won Tough Enough the year prior. I don't even remember his name, not Andy. Here comes Tyler Breeze. Nice reaction, too. I mean, by this point, he was kind of buried. He had just debuted on the main roster a few months earlier. What a waste of talent was Tyler Breeze in WWE. Great guy, great talent. They did absolutely nothing with him. He spent 90% of his time in that company as a tag team with Fandango, which was great. I enjoyed Breezango, but like he also should have been a prominent singles star as well. Like he could have been the modern day Rick Martel, and they just did fucking nothing with him. Yeah, Josh from Tough Enough. Thank you, Daniel. That guy that won Tough Enough in 2015, the Yeti guy. Yes. I want to call him Josh, not Josh Briggs, but he kind of looked like Josh Briggs. His name was also Josh. I thought that was him when that music hit. I'm like, oh God, here comes the guy from Tough Enough. Because we also knew AJ was not using Get Ready to Fly from TNA, obviously. Yes, Rip Sarah Lee, indeed. She was from that season of Tough Enough. AJ and Tyler Breeze going at it here. I know they had a match later on TV. I remember them having a match on Raw or SmackDown, like not long after. And Breeze is already gone. Anyway, let me go back here in the chat. Ahmed said, not going to lie, 2016 was my favorite Big Dog Roman in his matches with AJ, Seth Rollins, and the Shield Triple Threat. They were fun. Yeah, Roman had a great 2016, quite honestly. Here comes entrant number 5. I think this was the fucking Social Outcast group. That was very short-lived. This shit was actually entertaining. It was Slater, Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, if you remember Adam Rose. And here comes Curtis Axel running into the ring because he never technically got eliminated, remember, from the 2015 Rumble. So I like that story here. He doesn't last long, but I thought that was funny. He was the one representative from the group in the Rumble because he never technically lost, and that was his whole gimmick throughout 2015 was having won the Royal Rumble, the whole Axelmania shit and whatever. But anyway, yeah, Roman had a great 2016. He was the WWE champion there after Mania. The Mania match with Triple H was boring as shit, unfortunately. It just was not a great match. But this Rumble's great. He defends the WWE championship here. The first time the WWE title had been, I think actually the only time ever the championship has been defended in a Rumble. In 92, the title was vacant when Ric Flair won it in that Rumble. So it wasn't as if it was being defended. This is the first time the championship was defended in the match. And they only had one world title at that point, so kind of made sense. Adam Rose taking a crazy bump off the fucking apron. Holy shit. So Roman's match with Triple H in Mania wasn't good. But the matches with AJ were awesome. I was there for the second one at Extreme Rules. There goes Curtis Axel. Definitively eliminated this year. But Roman had that great match with Seth and Money in the Bank, the Shield Triple Threat that you mentioned. The matches with Rusev were fine over the United States Championship. It kept him busy outside of the world title picture. Here comes Jericho. So Jericho was already announced for the Rumble at this point. But he did only just return to the company a couple of weeks prior. And he threw his name into the hat as far as Rumble entrance. He was still a babyface at this point. It wasn't until like later on in the feud with AJ, which started here. They started working together in this match. That led to Jericho turning heel and facing AJ at Mania. But they had a great interaction in this matchup. And just to see Jericho and AJ in the ring at this point was awesome. Jericho and Roman was cool, but we'd kind of seen that, I think, a little bit before this, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely Jericho and AJ, but the first time was awesome. It's the match I never thought we would see. I don't think they've had a match one-on-one together since Mania in 2016. They were involved in a triple threat on SmackDown for the U.S. Championship in 2017, a match that AJ won. And that was Jericho's final TV match. He actually was in the Greatest Royal Rumble the following year, which was terrible. God, we should have fucking live-streamed that one. That match was so bad. I rewatched that recently. It was just terrible. But that was Jericho's final WWE appearance, and we haven't seen him in the company since. At least not until maybe the Royal Rumble this year. Time will tell. But Grunt said earlier as well, AJ versus Nakamura could be AJ's penultimate match and Nakamura's last WWE match, respectively. It could be. Honestly, I could believe that. I think there's a decent chance AJ actually retires next weekend at the Royal Rumble. And I thought Nakamura's match with Sami Zayn a couple of months ago might be his final WWE match, his swan song in the company. It was not. but it feels like he could also be on his way out.
Ladies and gentlemen, arguably the greatest
I think Kane is number
match history.
7.
The Demon Kane enters his 17th
17th Rumble in 2016. Holy shit.
42 eliminations.
He wasn't in many Rumbles after this. I think in Rumble 2018 he was in a title match, so he wasn't in the Rumble in 2018. 2017 he probably was.
And Kane goes right after
He wasn't in many Rumbles. He kind of like retired like shortly thereafter, so
the first time in his
this
career.
was like his final Rumble as a member of the active roster. But yes, I agree, Grunt. This could be the final Nakamura match tonight. Maybe. I don't know if that's for sure.
Once held the record of most
But there's a chance for AJ. He could be done next weekend, so this might be his second to last match. I mean, AJ could wrestle on Raw this week, so it might not be his final second to last WWE match, but it might be. Ahmed said earlier, interesting fact, Vince wasn't really interested in AJ. He even told him, I have a lot of guys in the back that can do what you do, but he won him over with the segment with The Miz. Yeah, when he acted like a fucking bulldog or whatever it was. Pit bull, I think was what AJ has said in interviews before. You are right, though. Vince has said, he literally told him after this that, he wasn't overly impressed with AJ Styles. It's part of the reason why they didn't hire him right away. They didn't hire him right away after his TNA run, which they absolutely should have. They could have used AJ in 2014, 2015 when the company was in fucking dire straits creatively. But they passed until he kind of proved himself in New Japan. Goldust at number 8, okay. He wasn't really doing much at this point. He was just kind of on his own as a job guy. I think he joined up with R-Truth a couple of months later as the Golden Truth.
In 2009, Randy Orton won from this position. John is the ring.
I know he and Cody had split as a tag team the year prior, so Goldust was just kind of there at this point. Goldust was on the roster for a long time, like a lot longer than you would remember. He didn't finally leave the company until 2019 when he went to AEW.
Make a mistake.
He was in the Rumble in 2018. I don't think he was in there in 2017. But I remember him being in the Rumble in 2018 because I was there for that Rumble. People didn't really react when he came out.
You can't win the Royal Rumble right now, but you can lose the Royal Rumble.
Daniel also said Chelsea Green, the last one standing from that Tough Enough. Yeah, she is. Yeah, Sonya Deville was in that season of Tough Enough. She got fired. Velveteen Dream, we all know what happened to him. Josh, we mentioned, he never even made it to NXT TV. He got fired like within a year. ZZ, remember fucking ZZ? That guy was terrible. I'm not even really sure why they hired him. He too was fired, so. Yeah, Chelsea Green. And even she got fired too, actually. So there was a point where actually, I guess Sonya never got fired until recently, so. But yeah, Chelsea Green is indeed the last one standing from that season. Daniel saying SmackDown 2016 post the draft was one of my favorite years for the brand. Me too. SmackDown in 2016, even before the draft, I thought SmackDown was a great show. SmackDown was fucking cooking with oil in 2016. When they moved to Thursdays, I think it was. Oh, here comes Ryback. He's getting booed. I think this is when he was still a babyface. They turned him heel shortly thereafter.
It's feeding time for the big guy.
Yeah, Mandy Rose. Forgot about Mandy Rose. She was also on that season. Thank you, Daniel.
Every new year, Ryback creates a vision.
You know what would be funny? If you need a surprise entrant for the Rumble this year, bring back Ryback. He hasn't been in a Rumble since this one. He's getting booed here. This isn't even like that smart of a crowd. This is Orlando or Tampa or... I think it's Orlando. Yeah, I mentioned Orlando earlier. This was in Orlando. Spinebuster to Kane from Ryback. They're booing Ryback, but then they start doing the Feed Me More chant because they're fucking fickle wrestling fans. Yeah, SmackDown, I think moved to Thursdays in 2015, but in 2016, they had a great year, honestly. Like, it's its own brand at that point, but they still had a lot of the Jericho, AJ stuff happen on SmackDown in early 2016. SmackDown was a lot of fun to watch. They moved to Tuesdays for the draft, like you said. And the show instantly became like must-see, with AJ being built as the one kind of where the brand was built around. Him and Cena on SmackDown. They had a great feud on SmackDown that year. Dean Ambrose really was a lot of fun to watch at that point as the WWE champion. SmackDown in 2016 was a lot of fun. It honestly might be my favorite year in SmackDown history in the time that I've been a fan since 08. 08 SmackDown was good. 09 SmackDown was underrated. I know Grunt is a SmackDown 09 fan. I think Kofi comes out here for the New Day. I don't think all three members enter, but they hype up Xavier is joining, but it's actually Kofi. They spoil it. They're pretending that Xavier is joining the Rumble, but they already spoil it with Kofi that he has already the nameplate for him being the one that's entering the Rumble, which is funny. And this was down around during the time when Kofi was still doing his, avoid being eliminated spots, which here was cool, but like it got old after a while and wasn't really all that creative. Anyway, yeah, Daniel mentioned Finn Balor beat Roman clean this year in 2016. Oh, those were the days. Yeah, his first night on Raw, he beat Roman clean. Not even he beat him clean, he beat him on his first night on Raw. Went on to become the inaugural Universal Champion, got injured in that match, and he was never the same after that. Not that Balor wasn't the same, but his booking was never the same after that, unfortunately. Jesus, Ryback just fucking yeeted AJ in the air. Ryback has said that Vince told him at this point that the Mania match that he was going to have was with AJ Styles and that he was going to bury AJ. Ryback is the only person I've ever heard tell that story, so I can't say I necessarily believe it personally. But it's not all that unbelievable considering, like, he and Ryback interact quite a bit here. Ahmed said earlier, the List of Jericho gimmick was a lot of fun to talk about. There was a lot to like about WWE in 2016. Yeah, the List of Jericho stuff really took off in 2016. Heel Jericho was great in 2016. It wasn't a perfect year by any means. Fucking Titus O'Neil. I like Titus, but this was kind of a waste of a spot. I think he turned on Darren Young a couple months before this. I'm pretty sure. Or at least they just broke up. I think Darren Young was doing the whole make Darren Young great again shit. Oh, no, that was after this, actually. That was later on in 2016. That's what I'm saying. So there's not a whole lot to like. There's not everything to love about WWE in 2016. They were also doing shit like Darren Young being managed by Bob Backlund, which was just weird. And I thought it was cool at the time, but it didn't really go anywhere. But, like, League of Nations was terrible. Thankfully, they fucking ended that right after Mania. That group sucked. They were just basically losers. Grunt said it many times, but 2016 was the last time I really tried to watch WWE regularly. That's a long time. That was a decade ago. That's crazy. But WWE in 2016, at least when they brought back the brand split, I mean, Raw was not amazing back then, but SmackDown was great. Titus eliminating Goldust. You know what's interesting about this? This was literally like a week or two before Titus O'Neil got suspended. Remember that? He got physical with Vince, like he hugged him. It was the day that Daniel Bryan retired. And Titus like fucking roughed up Vince on the stage. But like very lightly. When I say rough him up, like he was like hugging him or excitedly doing whatever. Vince was embarrassed by that. So he suspended Titus for 2 fucking months. Almost fired him. But instead he suspended him for 2 months, and he missed out on a Mania paycheck because of it. Like a fucking asshole. Was Vince McMahon. Okay, so R-Truth coming out at 12. This is a funny spot. This is when this is when he pulls the ladder out from underneath the ring. This is great. They showed this moment on Unreal the other day on episode 2, I think it was. That was really funny. And I laughed then and I'm laughing now because this is a great spot. R-Truth pulls the ladder in the ring. And R-Truth ascends the ladder. Thinking it's a Money in the Bank ladder match. And he yells, "Who's got the briefcase?" And then Kane just chucks him out. That was fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie. That was really funny. That was great. Grunt said, Also, we can only hope Nakamura needs his retirement tour in New Japan. I mean, hey, Nakamura at this point to me is not completely washed, but he's not the same Nakamura as he was 10 years ago. I mean, but then again, if they gave Tanahashi a retirement tour, and the guy's a legend, obviously, but Tanahashi was probably in worse shape than Nakamura is, then hey, there is still hope for Nakamura. If Nakamura cares about that sort of thing. I get the sense that he doesn't really give a shit, but maybe he does about having his retirement tour take place in Japan. Lord knows WWE's not going to give him a retirement tour. He's just going to have one final match on fucking main event, and then that'll be the end of him. Ahmed said, Kane was in the Rumble back in 2021. That was his last Rumble. Yes, I remember that. He was a surprise entrant in that Rumble. I think with the mask. I think he went into the Hall of Fame that year, so it made sense why he was in the Rumble. All right, someone from the Wyatt family coming out, I think, at 13 here. I don't know which member this was. Luke Harper. They had 4 members of the Wyatt family at this point. One of the rare times where the Wyatt family was in full force. No one was hurt. Eric Rowan came back a couple months earlier. They had Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt leading the group. Harper got injured like right after this, unfortunately. Maybe about a month or so later. It was right after Roadblock, but before Mania. And the Wyatt family again started losing momentum again at that point, but they never really could stay healthy all at the same time. Daniel said, glad AJ joined the company at a time where they were letting folks keep their indie names. Yeah, they let Samoa Joe keep his indie name. James Storm wasn't signed when he appeared there, but when he appeared, he was James Storm. All right, so the League of Nations is now beating up Roman Reigns. Sheamus, Del Rio, and Rusev. I think Wade Barrett was injured. I think that's why he's not there. And this was when Roman was feuding with Vince. Fucking Del Rio, man. That's so funny seeing him out there. God forbid we ever get a Del Rio Rumble return. Hey, maybe this year in Saudi. I'm sure Saudi would they would pop for a Del Rio return. His music was amazing. Del Rio himself sounds like a piece of shit, but Del Rio, former Rumble winner in his own right. Just kick there to Roman from Rusev. And this is where they take out Roman for most of the match because he's going to come back at the end and tease winning the whole thing, thankfully, which did not happen. This was how they got him out of the equation there for a little while. Daniel said, remember that poll Ryback posted in Retire 1? He did that for engagement, where it said, where do you want to see me next? WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, whatever, and the Retire option won out the poll. He did that for engagement. It was still fucking funny, but I remember that. Oh, God. Stardust. This was a couple months before Cody quit. The Stardust shit at this point was just so played out. It just sucked. I mean, he made the most of the character, but the character just was awful. I was never a fan from the get-go, personally. And what's funny, too, is that around this point, I remember Cody had a separate Twitter account. It was basically like his fucking burner. But he was using his name as Cody Rhodes at that point. And he kind of teased that maybe, like I was thinking going into the Rumble, we could see Stardust and Cody Rhodes as separate Rumble entrants. And that's when Rusev puts Roman through the table. So I was thinking, he might come out as Stardust and then later as Cody Rhodes, and that didn't happen. They never let him go back to Cody Rhodes until he came back to the company in 2022. This is 2016. Daniel said earlier, I heard Love Ziggler also found his nickname in 2016, but we got to double check with Tyreek. If Tyreek would bother to show up, we can ask him. Ahmed said as well, in the 2010s, that was probably their best year in terms of excitement for the product. In the 2010s? The 2010s? Oh, 2016, yes. I thought you meant like the decade itself. The decade itself for WWE was fucking terrible. And that comes from someone who watched the entire decade, who started right before that. You would think I'd be more nostalgic for that decade. I'm not. A lot of that decade was not good creatively for WWE, especially compared to today. You can complain about a lot of aspects of WWE programming today, but there's also a lot of years where it was way fucking worse. In like 2018, 2019, 2015, 14, it was fucking terrible. 13, 12, 2010 itself. But 2016, honestly, I think you're probably right. I don't know what Vince was on that year, but I mean, not everything was great. I mean, we had a Mania. Oh, God, fucking Big Show's in this Rumble. Of all the years in the 2010s, 2016 might have been the best year, like, creatively for the company. Overall. And even that year, not everything was great. What was Big Show even doing in 2016? Like, genuinely, was he even around that year? I know this was the year I thought he might actually face Shaq in Mania. And technically he did. They were in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal together. I know Ryback turned heel a couple of weeks later. He kind of feuded with Big Show coming out of this. That went nowhere. They didn't really feud at all. Big Show was just in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I think he was on Raw in 2016. I genuinely don't remember most of what he fucking did. I think he was like kind of partially retired at that point. Just to throw Titus O'Neil. Yeah, Grunt mentioning on the when Titus got, and Big Show just knocked out Ryback like a loser. There goes Ryback. This was when Titus got suspended. I mentioned that. And Grunt clarified that Titus O'Neil got rough with Vince because he was gently trying to pull back Vince so Stephanie could go first, like a gentleman. And Vince was embarrassed, so he just suspended Titus for 2 months. And literally until like the day after Mania to ensure he did not get a Mania paycheck like an asshole. I think it was a 90-day suspension originally, which is just so egregious. Neville. Neville's first and only Rumble, I think. God, he had the stupid cape. Neville got hurt right before Mania. He was supposed to be part of that ladder match in Mania, the Intercontinental Championship, and he got hurt against Jericho on Raw a couple of weeks before that. So he did have a Mania match with Austin Aries in 2017, albeit on the pre-show, but at least he did have a Mania match, which was nice. I think he was also in the, I think he was in the Andre the Giant. No, he was not. I think the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal spot in 2015 went to Hideo Itami, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Fernando, what's going on, brother? Thanks for joining. He said, good afternoon, Graham. Sorry I'm late. No worries, Fernando. Thanks for joining. For those that are joining, either live or currently watching after the fact or whatever, be sure to like the video. I would appreciate it. That sort of stuff always helps, so be sure to like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Kofi got eliminated by Jericho. Kofi was eating popcorn on the New Day shoulders. I forgot about that spot. That was funny. Grunt said, speaking of New Japan, I think I'll watch New Beginning after this. Yeah, I think New Beginning, wasn't it last night? I think New Beginning was, I think it was last night or it was a couple days ago. I don't follow New Japan that closely. Grunt can tell me. Daniel said, had they kicked Wade out of the group by this point? No, they kicked him out on the night after WrestleMania. I remember because that night after Mania that year, they did a lot of stuff. They debuted Enzo and Cass. They kicked Wade out of the group. The Wyatt family turned babyface, which was cool. AJ Styles became #1 contender to the WWE title. Here comes Braun Strowman at 17, by the way. But yeah, no, Wade got kicked out the night after Mania, and that was it. His contract legit expired like a month later. He did not re-sign. There were rumors of that before Mania, like dating back to February. And they wrote him off TV that way, and he had been gone from the company until 2020 when he came back as a commentator. Grunt said, and then there's the American Wolves being renamed the American Pit Bulls for their one and only NXT match. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, this is when they gave Strowman the big elimination spots where he took out Kane. He's about to take out Big Show. Yeah, I think the Pit Bulls faced, or the American Wolves rather, they faced the Ascension of all fucking teams on NXT. That was when the Ascension were still tag team champions and like dominating that depleted division back in 2013. Fernando said, what are your thoughts on the reports that Stone Cold might return to WWE for a match? I don't think so. A couple things. I don't know if it was said that he's coming back for a match. I saw the report from WrestleVotes Radio that he might be back for an appearance, which is fine, but like if it's just going to be an appearance where he announces the attendance, who cares? I love Stone Cold. It's always great to see him. Great to see him in person. But if he's only back for a fucking, announcing the attendance, that's not really important. I don't know what he'd be back for. I have heard nothing about a match, only an appearance. If it's for a match, it just feels like it's too late. Like, he came back for that one match at WrestleMania 38, which was great. If he was going to wrestle again after that, 2023 or 2024 would have been the years, and we haven't seen him in over 4 years in the ring. So I don't think it's going to happen. Not that I don't care, but what would that match even be? Here comes Kevin Owens, who was in a last man standing match earlier in the show with Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship. An amazing opener on that show. One of the best Rumble openers in event history. Daniel said, I would have never guessed Cody would be where he's at now when Stardust was going on. Me neither. I mean, I thought Cody could be a world champion in like 2011, 2012, 2013. But when he became Stardust, and he was Stardust for so long, you could find the tweets. I lobbied for fucking years for him to ditch that Stardust shit and to be a world champion. The world champion I knew he could be. Yeah, AJ Styles and Kevin Owens going at it here, which was really cool. They would go on a feud, obviously, the following year.
Styles hanging on. Neville thought he eliminated him.
But just to get AJ and Kevin Owens interacting was really cool. AJ going for the Styles Clash on Neville. Kevin Owens thwarts it. And this is where he chucks out AJ. He said, welcome to WWE, and just chucks out AJ. After, 30 minutes? And Kevin Owens does his fucking taunt. Yeah, AJ had a great performance there in his debut. I agree, though, Daniel. I would have never guessed that during the Stardust shit that Cody would go on to become a world champion. I know he had that potential, but it did take him leaving in order to become the champion he is today. Had he stayed, he would have never ascended to that level. I can guarantee you of that. He would have been in the Dolph Ziggler role. Grunt saying, I can totally see him taking a Saudi check and wrestling a match at Mania next year. Stone Cold, I'm not shocked. Fernando said, I'm hoping Trevor makes an appearance at the Rumble next weekend. You know what? Fuck Trevor. Fuck Trevor. Trevor, love Ziggler. Tyreek I'd love to see in the Rumble. He might be a surprise entrant. Trevor can go fuck himself. 19. Dean Ambrose. Well, I know he was in this match because I know the finish, but I was kind of hoping Dean would lose the title on the show and then go on to win the belt in the main event. I knew that was not going to happen, but I had delusions of grandeur thinking that it could, which would have been awesome. Because Dean was ready at this point to be world champion. He obviously went on to win a world championship a few months later via Money in the Bank cash-in. This was another great story in this match, though. Him and Kevin Owens having already faced each other earlier in the show. It was great to see him go at it here. Again, after already facing each other earlier on in the night. And this wasn't random either. Like, Dean was involved in the finish of this match. So it's not like he was in there just to waste the spot. Ahmed said, nothing really I remember. He had a feud the following year with Braun Strowman. Big Show? Yeah, I know. He didn't really do much during this point. Daniel said 2016 overall was great. 2017 regressed a bit, and then 2018 was awful. Yeah, 2017 wasn't awful. You are right, though, when you say it regressed a bit. Honestly, the best part of 2017 was the Hardy Boys being back. Jericho left around that point. SmackDown was just fucking awful with Jinder Mahal as champion. 2017, I mean, that's the biggest black mark on 2017, is the Jinder shit. It was so bad. And it's not like Raw was all that great either. They put the belt on Brock and he barely showed up. Mr. Marceau is here. Said earlier, Titus World Slide. Yeah, no World Slide in this match, but that was in the greatest Royal Rumble, which, like I said earlier, was absolutely abysmal. Grunt said, I think 2016 was the year Big Show started to become a part-timer, a year after he started getting the Please Retire chants. Yes, 2015 he started getting those Please Retire chants, because he absolutely should have retired by 2015. He was wasting a roster spot at that point. Here comes Sami Zayn. He was in NXT at that point. Kevin's reaction. And they did the Let's Go, too. So they were in Orlando. It made sense for Sami to be in the Rumble. I got my shirt on because he's on Saturday and it's main event tonight. This was awesome. Yeah, this was Sammy coming for revenge on Kevin Owens. This was awesome. Because Kevin Owens took Sammy out in storyline the year prior and never got revenge. NXT, or Sammy went back to NXT very briefly for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Kevin Owens went to the main roster. And they never got to finish that feud at the time until 2016 when they had that great series of matches leading to Battleground that summer, which was a fantastic match.
All these superstars fighting for the right to become WWE.
Oh, and there goes KO. Yeah, I think KO said before he attempted to toss out Sammy, he said, go back to NXT, and then Sammy chucked him out, which was great storytelling. That was fantastic. Daniel and RJ talking about Mike McCarthy here in the chat. I know exactly what you guys are talking about. As a big football guy myself, I know exactly what you're talking about, of course. Grunt said earlier, the fact that Neville's biggest match in WWE was a tag match with Stardust, King Barrett, and Stephen fucking Amell at SummerSlam tells you a lot. Glad the Bachelor's still around elsewhere. I'll go back to that in 1 second. I think this is a Wyatt family member. Yes, it is. Number 20, I think. Pretty sure it's Bray. Oh, no, Eric Rowan. Okay, so they saved Bray for later. But yeah, with Neville, he's always been someone where you see a lot of people either have gone back or you could see them going back to WWE at some point. Neville was always someone to me, I never saw why he would go back. Neville, Pac, whatever you want to call him. He was always someone, even today with Triple H being in charge, I never really saw why he would want to go back. Obviously, he doesn't want to, he stayed put. He's also been hurt a lot too, but he's just not really someone I could see excelling in the current WWE. I mean, less so even under Vince. I mean, with Vince, he was just a fucking cruiserweight, but Triple H probably would see the value in a guy like Neville 10 years ago when he was in NXT. He did, obviously. He was the first ever, or one of the first NXT champions. But I think he's a guy now, like Karrion Kross is a former NXT champion. It's not like Triple H praised or favored him because he was in NXT, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't think Neville would do well if he went back at any point. There's just no reason for him to. There's no story reason. I'm sure he's being paid very well to be in AEW. He gets to live in England. I don't think he lives in the States. I think he just travels to Dynamite whenever he comes in. Grunt said this Rumble may have been the best undercard, honestly. Yeah, it had a great undercard. It was a short card. It had the Usos and the New Day, which was a great match. You had Ambrose and Owens, like I said, that last man standing match for the Intercontinental title. Charlotte and Becky was great, and I think that may have been it. Ooh, Mark Henry.
Earlier tonight in our kickoff show, Mark Henry and Jack Swagger won a fatal four-way tag team matchup to earn the right to be in the Rumble match.
That's so random. I remember that, but that's so random. Mark Henry, they just said on commentary. Mark Henry and Jack Swagger won a fatal four-way tag match, and they were not partners at the time. Mark Henry and Jack Swagger won a fucking tag match to qualify for the Rumble. That is just insanely random. This was when Mark Henry was about to retire. Like, he was barely around to this point. He's only in there just to get chucked out by the Wyatt family. And there goes Mark Henry. Ahmed said, KO won his first world title in 2016. I really loved that match. Yeah, that four-way when he won the belt, it was him, Big Cass, who had a great performance. Rollins and Reigns, fantastic match. The Triple H return, Swerve on turning on the Swerve where Triple H turns on Kevin Owens was great. That four-way was awesome. Grunt said, was a Cody believer way back during his dashing days. Yeah, I don't think I was a Cody fan when he was in Legacy. I saw more potential in Ted DiBiase. Don't tell anyone. I don't think I really became a Cody fan until, like, the undashing days. There goes Sammy. Fuck you, Braun Strowman. I think when he went undashing, I kind of saw the potential with Cody as a future world champ. That was when he really impressed me. Although the dashing stuff was great, too. Yeah, Triple H turning on Seth in 2016 was great. What do I have against Trevor, Daniel asked? Trevor was on the stream today and didn't show his face. Oh, shit. Big pop for Brock. At 23. His second Rumble. Wow, Brock's been in a bunch of Rumbles since then. I know he was in the 2017 Rumble where he got chucked out by Goldberg. Obviously the 2020 Rumble. He was in the 2022 Rumble, which was terrible, and he won that one. He was in the 2023 Rumble, because I know him and Brock interacted, or him and Bobby interacted. I remember that. And yeah, so he's been in some Rumbles since then. This was only his second Rumble, the first one being 03 when he won. Yeah, because I guess when he came back in 2012, he got brought back from suspension the night after the Rumble in 2013. In 2014, he faced Big Show. There goes Eric Rowan. Courtesy of Brock. Nice suplex to Luke Harper. 2015, he had that amazing triple threat with, we got to rewatch that at some point. That triple threat with Brock, Cena, and Rollins is just so fucking good. And then, yeah, I guess he was in this match. Yeah, RJ said the Beast. Brock had a lot of momentum at this point. He was kind of like a tweener. And yeah, Daniel mentioning how he gets eliminated. Yeah, I mean it's fucking dumb how he gets eliminated. They're gonna get to that in a second. Brock is taking out Braun Strowman. This was when he was kind of teasing a feud with the Wyatt family, and that was the original plan for Mania, which honestly would have been even worse than him and Dean. Jack Swagger. I think this is Swagger's final Rumble. What if he came out of the Rumble in Saudi? Dun, da, 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 na, 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 dun, na, 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 dun, dun, dun. Listen, Jack Swagger's a fucking bomb. I don't care if you call him Jack Swagger. He gets immediately F5 by Brock. Boom. I think he just chucks him. Wait, let me see. He picks up Jack. Thanks for coming, buddy. Former world champion Jack Swagger chucked in 10 seconds. That's amazing. What a waste of a spot that was. Hey, listen, you know what? Like I said, I don't care if you call him Jack Swagger or Jake Hager. That theme song was incredible. If he came out in the Rumble this year, he can get chucked in 2 seconds for all I care. I don't care. To hear that song again, though, one more time would be amazing. That would be incredible. That's all I need to hear and see. It's just that music one more time. I mean, you know that you're reaching to the bottom of the barrel when you go to Jack Swagger as a Rumble surprise, but you get Swagger in there, or Jericho, you can have the whole fucking inner circle. Bring in Santana from TNA. Why the fuck not? Grunt said earlier, Dean versus Roman would have been 1,000% better than the main event we got. At Mania 32, yes, but also I think you're forgetting, Brock going after Braun. They did do Dean and Roman at Survivor Series in 2015, and it was not a great match. I'm not going to say they don't have good chemistry together, but they only had one televised match ever in WWE, and it kind of sucked. And Roman winning was not good. The Miz. Yeah, I think Miz completely avoids the Rumble here at 25. He just goes right to the commentary desk, which is kind of great. The Miz had a great 2016. You would never know it from watching this Rumble. But he went on to win the Intercontinental Championship the night after Mania from Zack Ryder. Had a great run as IC champion for the next 6 months. He's looking at Brock like, yeah, I'm going to take you out, bitch. And then he just walks to the commentary table instead, which is amazing. This is actually pretty funny.
Keeps looking at me like that, I'll turn Suplex City into Disney World.
I'll turn Suplex City into Disney World. That's such a terrible line, but I think it works. But anyway, yeah, Dean and Roman would have been a better main event for Mania had they turned Roman heel. They weren't going to do that, unfortunately. Roman and Triple H made sense. I maintain that. That match did make sense for Mania, but they just didn't have great chemistry. One-on-one, anyway, they did when the Shield faced the Wyatt thing, or the Shield faced Evolution. But one-on-one, that match was just not great. Daniel said, man, 10 years later, Sami Zayn still has not been world champ yet. He definitely will be, but the fact it's been a decade and he still has not won a world title is pretty insane. I do agree. Hopefully he's not fucking 50 by the time it finally happens. Grunt said there were only 2 moments left in WWE that could possibly catch my interest. Owens winning the WWE title and Zayn winning a world title. Love those two. Fellow Canadian, gotta support Grunt, I get it. Grunt said there was also Del Rio and Kalisto for the U.S. Championship. Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot because they did nothing with it. Kalisto won back the U.S. title from Del Rio on this show, I think. I don't know why he even dropped it back to Del Rio in the first place. That was just kind of dumb. All the titles were on the line, which is incredibly rare for a Rumble show. Yeah, I forgot about that because they only had 5 championships back then. Another one, like with Swagger, where I would only pop to hear the music again. Del Rio himself, I could not possibly give 2 shits about. But the theme song was a banger, though. Jim Johnston was in his bag when he made that song. I love when Del Rio goes for Brock, and Brock's like, yeah, no. You're not getting away with that. I guess they only did have 5 titles back then. The U.S. title, IC title, the Women's, the Diva Championship, Tag titles, and the World title. Now they have 1 million, but yeah, they only had 5 championships until the brand split when they came up with more belts. I think this was the last time we had that least amount of championships in WWE. It had to have been. Because they had 2 world titles in 2013. When did we have that least amount of championships? Until when? What, 2002, 2001? Well, even back then they had the hardcore European titles. I think 2014 to 2016, that was the least amount of championships. And Brock takes out Strowman. Wiped out the entire Wyatt family.
Keep it going, Brock. You talk about a game changer. Brock Lesnar has eliminated.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2014 to 2016, they only had 5 titles. When was the last time they had that least amount of championships? What, 96? With like the IC, World, Women's. I don't even know if they had a fucking Women's tag team. That's about it. Brock going for Jericho. Here comes Bray Wyatt. The layout of this match is really, really well done. Like, there's never really a dull moment. They have some jobber entrance, of course, but they tell a lot of stories in this Rumble, and it set up a lot of stuff. Good amount of surprise entrance, good moments, good action, good crowd. That's why I really, really like this Rumble. And cheap plug. Well, yeah, this is when the Wyatt family comes back in, despite already being eliminated to take out Brock, which was terrible. That was just stupid. That was just lame as fuck. But cheap plug, myself and someone else from Bleacher, we're going to be ranking the top 25 best Royal Rumble matches. Not the undercard matches, but like the Rumbles themselves. The Rumbles themselves. Top 25 Rumbles of all time, and that's going to be coming out next week, a couple days before the Rumble pay-per-view itself. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, check it out. We got together and did our ranking the other day, so we just have to write the article now, and it's going to be out this coming week. So I'll talk more about it as it gets closer. Speaking of the Rumble, big week coming up. I'm also probably going to be doing the Royal Rumble game on Twitter. So for those interested, if you want to participate, potentially win a free shirt, Grunt, you are the defending Royal Rumble game winner. Participate on Twitter, the website, WrestleRant.com, Facebook, what have you. Most likely coming up on Tuesday. We're not going to be doing it live here on YouTube or anything, but that'll be coming up on Tuesday. We'll have Royal Rumble game signups. For those not familiar, check out WrestleRant.com. I'll have a full article up with all the details coming up in the next few days. We'll likely be doing it 8 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. I haven't formally announced it yet, but that's the current working idea. Yeah, Bray takes out Brock with his sister Abigail. They proceed to chuck him out. This was just fucking lame, because it's like, why are they in the Rumble? They were already eliminated. I know why they're in the Rumble, but like, how does that not get Bray Wyatt like DQ'd or some shit? There goes Lesnar. That was to set up Bray and Brock in Mania, which never happened. They did do Bray and Harper versus Brock at Roadblock, which was kind of a squash, basically. Hey, Daniel said, I completely forgot Brock was in this. Ahmed said, back when Brock wasn't really just going after world titles in 2016 outside of the Rumble, and Fastlane took me back to those days. Yeah, he wasn't in the world title picture again until 2017. In 2016, he feuded with Dean. What else did he do in 2016? Oh, he faced Orton at SummerSlam. Faced Orton at SummerSlam. Goldberg at Survivor Series. Dolph Ziggler. Hey, Love Ziggler himself. Here come Love Ziggler at 28.
Batista twice has won from this number 28. You know what I said?
Ahmed said back. I already answered that. I already commented on that. Grunt said Roman versus Dean and Wyatt versus Lesnar at Mania. Remember what they took from us. I mean, Bray and Lesnar probably would have been fucking awful. I'm sorry. I said that earlier, but like, did we really miss out on Bray versus Brock? Brock would have not sold for anything Bray did. He was not going to do the supernatural bullshit stuff with Bray. He would have just fucking destroyed him like he did with Harper at Roadblock. Nice skull-crushing finale there to Ziggler. Miz finally in the Rumble.
You gotta love Miz's strategy. I wouldn't have gone in there with Brock and the Wyatt family.
I really don't think Brock and Bray at Mania would have been all that good. I think Dean and Brock, for as underwhelming as it was still a better match than Bray and Brock, which was not going to elevate. I mean, Bray ended up getting buried by The Rock in that verbal segment where Rock called Bray the eater of Hot Pockets. Never forget. I think someone said that in the chat. Oh, yeah, Daniel said the eater of worlds, a.k.a. the eater of pins. I think Rock... I don't think Bray was ever the same after he got called the eater of Hot Pockets by Rock. And I'm like, yep, that's it. Bray's cooked. Grunt also likes that theme. Danielson, mid-ass Jack Swagger did not deserve that fire-ass real American music. There's a lot of people that did not deserve great music but got great themes anyway because Jim Johnson was a fucking star. But, I mean, CFO was also responsible for a lot of the great themes back then, not just Jim Johnson. Another great song, Sheamus' old CFO song. Instead, now he's got that terrible Def Rebel music. Yeah, Disney World got a chuckle out of me, Daniel said. Yeah, that was a great line. Dumb as hell, but like so stupid it actually works. Fernando said, oh, here comes Roman. Typical. He's asleep for like a majority of the Rumble, but then runs back in the Rumble when it's convenient for him. Roman throws out Miz. I think he takes out Del Rio in a second. And there goes Del Rio. See ya, pal. And Ziggler tries to chuck out Roman to a big pop. That's not going to happen. Superman punch. Fernando said, Triple H did not need to face Roman that year. We had better options. I agree. We definitely, with the roster they had in 2016, they had better options. It was just a match that made sense, but it probably would have made more sense as a non-title match and not as the main world title match because it fucking sucked. Grunt said Miz should have never won the IC title back from Ziggler before the Survivor Series. It cut Ziggler's run short and robbed me of Ziggler versus Zayn. Well, I think you were at that show, Grunt, so that's why you say that. That would have been a better match. Miz and Zayn was not the same. And Ziggler, yeah, I don't even really know why they took the belt off of Miz to give it to Ziggler, only to give it back to Miz. I thought that was stupid. Entrant number 30, big surprise coming. Hold on. Who is it? Triple H. Oh my God. We haven't seen him on TV in a whole 30 days at this point. What a shock. Triple H is in the Rumble. What a surprise. The crowd popped because they hated Roman Reigns. But if they really sat back and thought about it, this was dumb as shit for Triple H, I'm sorry, spoiler alert, to win the title. At however old he was at this point. Stupid. I guess it was better than Roman retaining the championship in the Rumble, but it was still dumb. It was like one of those things where like, oh, Roman didn't win. Oh shit, Triple H won instead. It was one of those deflating finishes. I agree, Fernando, less titles the better. Glenn said, thoughts on Bruce's comments about Jim Johnston's music. Apparently thought most of the music sounds like Bam Bam's theme. He said that a lot of his music sounded the same, which isn't entirely untrue. But for him to discredit Jim Johnston like that, it's like, bro, you're going to put Jim Johnston in the same category as Def Rebel, where all of their music sounds the same? Come on. He is not entirely inaccurate when he says that a lot of Jim Johnson's songs sounded similar. True. Some of them, not all of them. Maven's song did not sound like Triple H's song, and they were two great songs for two different reasons. Or fucking Billy Kidman's fire-ass song from 2002. This was right smack dab in the Authority bullshit, by the way. It thankfully ended soon after this, but it was still pretty terrible. Grunt said, just comes off as him running defense for their current music output to me. Classic stooge behavior. Yeah, Bruce, he's a fucking stooge. I do agree, though. I do agree with that. Bruce, after watching Unreal, which I did enjoy, by the way, my full review should be up at some point next week. I was going to have it up tomorrow, but I haven't watched episode 5 yet. I wanted to do this here today. So it's not out yet. Roman and Triple H facing off. One of my top takeaways is that they need a massive creative overhaul. You're not going to get Triple H. You're not going to get rid of Triple H overall, or just in one night, overnight is what I meant to say. Nor do I think they should. I mean, who's going to replace Triple H as the head of creative if it's not Triple H? I think Bobby Roode's great. They're not going to put Bobby Roode as head of creative. I do think they need to get rid of Bruce Pritchard, Road Dogg, and Michael Hayes. Road Dogg, as the SmackDown writer, seems like a nice guy. He's fucking terrible. I mean, even some of the stuff that they pitched on the show exposed how incompetent of a writer he was. Triple H, you can poop on all day. At least Triple H, with a lot of the stuff he said on that show, made sense. It was a logical, like a lot of the stuff that he said on the show was logical. Road Dogg, Hayes, and Pritchard at certain points. Pritchard, oh yeah, Pat McAfee should beat Gunther. Why does he work there still? What does he offer in 2026? Or at least lessen their roles. It's 3 old white men. 4 old white men if you include Triple H. Get some women in there. Get some young blood in there. As the head writers. None of this old people shit. That was part of the problem when Vince was running shit. Although Vince, it was really just him and no one else's ideas. Yeah, Grunt said earlier, if the 2004 Rumble's not in the top 10, he's going to riot. Oh, no! Great sell there by Triple H. Got hit with the super kick from Ziggler. That one spot alone actually led to Triple H defending the WWE title. I think it was a title match. I'm not sure. But he had a Raw match with Ziggler right after this. About a month or 2 later. And it was nice to get, if only one time, even though we knew Ziggler was losing. And there goes Ziggler. Ziggler was not winning the title, although that would have been crazy if he did. I think Ziggler lost to friggin' like Adam Rose or Heath Slater a couple weeks before this. He was not winning the WWE title. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about Jinder. This is interesting. We get Bray and Triple H facing off. Big pop for that. This went nowhere, by the way. This went nowhere. They team up, or they attempt to team up. They tease teaming up to take out Roman. And this, honestly, this also probably would have been a really boring match. But they never followed up on it, unfortunately. Even though it would have been a boring match, it would have been cool to see where it would have gone. I actually have more faith in a Bray and Triple H match being more interesting, at least build-wise, than Bray and Brock. Shoot me, but I think that statement stands. Triple H and the pedigree on Bray, who gets out of it. Oh, Sister Abigail! Oh, and Sheamus bro kicks Bray. I think he chucks out Bray, which is just dumb as fuck. Although he kind of got back at Wyatt. Triple H and Sheamus teaming up to take out Bray. Yeah, fuck you. Kind of got back at Sheamus after Mania when he did the gun motion at Sheamus and Roman speared him when they teamed up on that rare Raw after Mania. That was cool. Let's see. Yeah, the 04 is not in there. He said, I'm going to riot. You'll see where we rank the 04 Rumble Grunt. You'll see. It's in the top 25. I kid. It's definitely up there. You'll see when the list comes out next week. I'm curious what you guys' thoughts are. Fernando said, you love ranking. Have you always enjoyed ranking stuff before this gig? I mean, with wrestling stuff, yeah. I mean, that's part of the gig is ranking. Not only here for the channel, but I've been ranking in articles for the last 15 fucking years. I mean, that's what people like rankings. People enjoy rankings, so. I mean, we have a show called WrestleRant Ranks, but, I mean, that's because people like rankings. It makes sense. Dean Ambrose throwing out Jericho. I thought that was cool because that followed up on, I think Dean and Roman teamed up with Jericho a couple months prior to this in Night of Champions. And Jericho walked out on them afterward. He returned, they lost, and then he walked out on Dean afterward. And that was supposed to set up Jericho and Dean at Mania. But they completely changed the Mania card. We got Dean and Brock, Jericho and AJ. I think the card worked out for the better, to be honest with you, even though it's still that Mania was not great. Fernando said Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six are done. I'm feeling nothing for this feud with Solo and his family. It's fine. I mean, it's a fine feud. It's not amazing at all. It's just kind of fucking boring. It's a fine undercard feud. I'm not interested all that much, but it exists. Let's put it that way. I don't really give a shit that much. I don't really care about Solo and Tama Tonga being the tag team champions, but it is what it is. Fernando said, oh, and Roman takes out Sheamus. And then Triple H throws out Roman. Huge pop. But listen, this was a great finish because they wanted you to think it would be Triple H and Roman as the final two, but it wasn't. It was Triple H and Dean. And this gave you hope. Even though Dean was the Intercontinental Champion, there was no way he was winning here. They made you think there was a chance. And the crowd's on their feet. If it came down to Triple H and Roman, people would have fucking pooped all over it and it would have been a repeat of the last two Rumbles. But they redeemed themselves from the prior two Rumbles with a great final two here, even though Triple H winning, spoiler alert, was terrible. Fernando said, do you think we got a glimpse of heel Cody last night? I do. I thought that segment on SmackDown was great. A full written review should be up on WrestleRant.com later today. Big career comeback from the cerebral assassin. No, seriously. Daniel said, Triple H won this? Oh, man, this ruined it's ruined for you now? Sorry. I apologize. Tom, what's going on? He said, what's up, my guy? Tom, hope you're doing well. Grunt said, it's because Vince wanted a heel versus face match at the Survivor Series, which was unnecessary for brand versus brand match. And yes, I was there. And that's why I'm so salty about it. Yes. Ziggler and Zayn, I do agree. I was looking forward to that. Would have been a better match. At least we did get Ziggler and Zayn, I think, later on. They had a match. They must have had a match on TV after that. Def Rebel sucks. Largely, they do. Correct. Triple H going for the pedigree on Dean. Dean Ambrose throws that Triple H. Oh, you kind of think there for a second he almost has a chance to win. And then Triple H. Oh, it like he literally. Oh, that was great. Shoulders him, and then Triple H. Oh, knees Dean right in the face. And then dumps him out. And then you just feel the sense of apathy at this point for Triple H winning the title. It's like, oh, yeah, Roman didn't win. Oh, shit, Triple H won the belt. Fuck. You know what I mean? The authority shit was awful at this point. Still a great Rumble. Who did DX original entrance music? I forgot. I think Jim Johnston helped in it. He didn't sing it, but he helped put it together. Triple H or Shawn Michaels can replace Triple H? Not necessarily, dude. You say that, but like people were saying the same thing about Triple H replacing Vince. How is Shawn Michaels any different? He books the same way that Triple H does, which I don't think is bad. It's not awful. But it's not that drastically different than Triple H. I should probably stop the timer because I'll stop it when the video's over. When the match is over, but whatever. Pat McAfee beating Gunther was such a stupid pitch. Yes, I thought the match was excellent. I actually really enjoyed the finish, or that match. But Pat McAfee winning would have been dumb as fuck. I don't even know why Bruce Pritchard would say that. Daniel said Chris Warren, he actually died ironically in 2016, if I remember correctly. Was it that long ago? He has died within the last 10 years. I thought it was later than that, but I guess not. Like within the last 5 years, but I guess not. Yeah, Grunt said he really said that. I knew I had a reason to be worried about that Gunther and McAfee match. Yeah, Bruce Pritchard said that. And that was it. That's the end of the Rumble. As he celebrates to close the show. Oh, something else is playing now. Hold on. I have to stop the timer. Stop the timer. What the fuck is playing now? The Rumble in 2015. Oh, God. We're not watching that show. Definitely not watching that one. That Rumble is... we might have to rewatch that one of these days. Would you guys want a 2015 Royal Rumble rewatch? Maybe not right now, but that match was... that is one of the worst Rumbles of all time. Actually, you know what? I take that back. That is the worst Rumble of all time. Maybe down the road we can watch that if you guys want to torture me for an hour, I guess. That would be torture to rewatch that match. Fernando said Trevor should win the WWE title. Yeah, I think that'd be better than Triple H, but Trevor's still trash, so fuck Trevor. I'm Love Ziggler for life. You know what? Fuck Trevor. You know who should win the WWE title? Bon Quivi. Yeah, no, Daniel said it himself. Bon Quivi should win the Rumble. Trevor should win the WWE Championship. Bon Quivi wins the Rumble. Love Ziggler, special guest referee. That's really where the money's at. Daniel stole the words right out of my mouth. Ahmed said, I don't know why Triple H still has them in creative. As soon as Pritchard said Pat should go over on Gunther, he should have just said leave. Yeah, I don't know how he still has a job there after that. I don't know how you pitch something so ironically, not even ironically, just so egregiously stupid and think that's a good idea. Come on, man. That's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And the fact they left that in the show, I think that's amazing. Because it exposes how dumb some of these ideas actually are. Not all the ideas were dumb, but that idea from Bruce specifically was just terrible. It's too predictable for Gunther to win, so let's have Pat McAfee win. Why the fuck would you say that? Johnny said, imagine if they had to pivot to Dean Ambrose winning. I thought Solo was your favorite SmackDown star. I know, shocker, he's not. Dean Ambrose winning would have been amazing. That would have been a great finish. He also would have been the first Intercontinental Champion to ever win the Rumble. They've never had a mid-card champion win the Rumble before. Maybe tag team, like a tag team champion, never an IC champion, a United States champion. That is still something they have to do at some point. Warrior should have won it in 90 as the IC champion because he faced Hogan at Mania anyway. That was before they were doing the Rumble for title shots. But he still should have won the Rumble that year anyway. It kind of makes, especially when Hogan won the following year. Regardless, Grunt said NXT is a different animal than the main roster. Can't base someone's WWE booking potential on their NXT work, in my opinion. Correct. I still think Triple H has been a better booker than Vince the last 10 years. But you can and you can't. I think you saying that you can't base NXT. Like, you can't base the main roster on NXT. You can't even just say booking-wise. You can't base everything entirely on NXT. And by that, I mean there are some things, some ideas, some wrestlers, some gimmicks that will only work in NXT, but they will not work on the main roster. There's some things that will only work they will not work, like they will work in NXT, but not in the main roster. There's some things that will work on the main roster, but not in NXT. You know, it goes both ways. I think that's important to keep in mind that not everything is meant for the main roster, and it's not always necessarily going to work. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. With Triple H too, I think Triple H had a great enough track record with NXT from 2012 through like fucking 2020, where I think you can actually say that you can judge him as a booker because he booked NXT so well for so long. Well, people don't realize, and Triple H has his faults as a booker, but what people don't realize is that booking, this is kind of what Grunt is saying, I think. When you book NXT, it is not the same thing as booking the main roster. There's so many other factors you have to consider with corporate stuff, commercials, a bigger roster, more shows, more hours of TV, more things to consider, outside factors, more injuries. There's just a million more things to consider. So it's not like, oh, why was Triple H so great in NXT, but he was terrible on the main roster? It's two totally different things. NXT is indeed developmental, correct. And it's not like Triple H was terrible on the main roster, but he's great in NXT. I mean, Shawn Michaels would have the same, whatever issues, first of all, Shawn Michaels doesn't do an amazing job of booking NXT. Like, he does a good job, but not like this amazing job that people think that he does. If you put Shawn Michaels in the spot that Triple H is in now, he will not do that much differently. He might even do worse than Triple H. Because people were saying the same thing about Triple H that they do about Shawn Michaels. Oh, Shawn books the women so well. Okay, Triple H booked the women exceptionally well for years on end. But he also got to the main roster, and it's a different beast. It's not the same thing. That's not to excuse Triple H. I'm just saying that booking NXT and booking the main roster are two totally different things. Excellent Rumble, Fernando said. Yes, it was an excellent Rumble. That was a really good Rumble. I love that Rumble. It's not my favorite Rumble, but it would be up there. Johnny said Bruce would have gotten free football tickets from Pat McAfee for pitching that ending. Probably. I think even Pat McAfee would tell you that that ending would have been dumb had he won. I would hope Pat McAfee would say, yeah, no, that finish is stupid. We're not doing that. He would have the stroke to say no, too. Daniel said yes, 2015 rewatch. If you guys want to kill me, sure. Daniel said 2022 might give it a run on the money, for money on worst Rumbles. Yeah, the 2022 one is also up there. That honestly might even be worse. The 22 Rumble might even be worse than 2015. It is up there. It is extraordinarily bad. Yeah, if you guys really want to see me suffer, then a rewatch for either of those Rumbles would make me suffer. Maybe during the week we'll do it. In the next couple days, I don't know. You never know. You might get a surprise stream with us rewatching a Rumble. You just never know. Grunt said, nah, I'll just stick to rewatching the Botchamania video covering that Rumble in the Snowden Raw the night after. Yeah, I think that Raw was actually supposed to be in Connecticut, actually, which is why they filmed the show at the headquarters. What we got from that Raw, they did it at the headquarters, and they replayed the 2015 Rumble match, I think. I don't know why that match was terrible, but they wanted to make you suffer twice, I guess. They also put Brock, Rollins, and Cena on that show, which was an amazing match, so I had no issue rewatching that. Fernando said, no, I'd rather drink a glass of bleach than rewatch that terrible Rumble. Okay, thank you. Daniel apparently is the only one that wants to see me suffer. Daniel said, Pat McAfee, face of the company. Triple H said that? Yeah, to some people, that's what he said. He said, to some people, Pat McAfee's the face of WWE. Don't know why he would say that. That was a pretty dumb thing to say. Fernando, the only good thing Bruce Pritchard has ever done is brother love. I don't know if that's accurate, but that is definitely what he's most known for sure. It said, god-awful Rumble 2015 as soon as Bryan eliminated. The Titantron said shattered dreams. Yes, that was an incredible, unintentional, ironic moment. As just soon as Bryan gets eliminated, Goldust came out, so it said shattered dreams on the Titantron. Just... I'm laughing to mask the crying with how bad that Rumble was. I was just, because if I couldn't laugh in that moment when it happened 10 years ago, 11 years ago at this point, I would cry, because that's how bad that was. Better booker, Triple H or Eric Bischoff, Johnny asked. I would probably go Triple H. Eric Bischoff, that NWO angle was incredible. I think Triple H, you have more to go off of. If Eric Bischoff's booking is based entirely on Nitro, Triple H did a better, Eric Bischoff did a great job of the moments and making shit more real. And it worked for that time period. I think Triple H did a better, the thing with Bischoff, his highs were high, but his lows were also really low. Like, a lot of the booking and a lot of the points during Nitro's history was really fucking bad. Triple H's booking isn't always great, and he's had some lows. He's had some really high highs, but not consistently as bad as some of the shit Nitro and WCW was putting out during periods of the show's demise there. So maybe Triple H will reach that point eventually. I still think Triple H is a better booker than Bischoff. That might be a hot take, but that's how I feel. Yeah, I mean, Grunt said NXT Triple H over WCW Bischoff, maybe. What are we talking about, though? You know what I mean? NXT Triple H, yes, easily. NXT Triple H over WCW Bischoff, easily, in my opinion. What is WCW Bischoff? The 2 years that he booked for in the NWO stuff? But again, he botched the finish of that story. That's like Cody Rhodes reaching WrestleMania 40 and then losing again, or Roman winning and then Cody, the match gets restarted. I'm going Triple H. I think Triple H is a better booker than Bischoff. They booked a lot of the aspects of that NWO angle really well, but they were on the 99-yard line and they fucked it up at Starrcade 97. And then the fallout was also terrible, so I'm going Triple H. Daniel said, that Rumble went by quicker than I thought it would, LOL. It did, yeah. We've been sitting here for over an hour, almost an hour and a half, and it went by really quickly. So I appreciate you guys joining for this impromptu surprise stream. I did tease it the other day here on the channel in the chat section, but I didn't tell you when exactly we would be doing it today. It was just kind of a pop-up stream, and you guys came out in clutch, which was great. We'll get on out of here in a moment. But Johnny said the NFL commissioner, Roger, told Triple H to make great remarks of Pat, and then he will get season passes to every team. Was that TKO telling Triple H to say that so they can be in bed with the NFL now? Is that how it works? Anyway, this was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much for joining for this Royal Rumble 2016 match watch-along on the 10-year anniversary of the Rumble 2016, that match, and AJ Styles' WWE debut. What a time. A decade already. It's crazy to think about. Let's make sure time goes slower going forward. But, yeah, this was fun. So we have the Rumble next Saturday, a week from today. I'll be watching more Rumbles until then. I watched the 01 Rumble the other day. I watched the Greatest Royal Rumble the other day because they're going to be in Saudi again for this year's. And that Rumble was terrible. The 01 Rumble was a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do another watch-along at some point in the next week. Maybe Monday. I'm not sure. I don't know when it would be. It would be cool if it fell on an anniversary of whatever Rumble that I'm streaming on that day. But I did say to Mr. Marceau on WrestleRant Radio what we might do is do a Rumble watch-along on the show itself on Thursday. Depending on how much news comes out in the next week, we might do a Rumble watch-along in addition to a Royal Rumble predictions. So we would do that on the show on Thursday. And if we do a Rumble watch-along, I'm thinking the 2011 Rumble because he was at that one. And next Friday is the 15-year anniversary of that Rumble. So we might just do it that day. But we'll see. So stay tuned for that. Might do another watch-along before then. Turn on notifications to be notified when we do go live unexpectedly for a stream such as this. Subscribe and like the video. All that stuff is greatly appreciated. Johnny said you should do a tier list of bookers. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. At some point, maybe. It just kind of depends. Like, Triple H's booking time isn't over. Vince's is, and a lot of these other people's booking time is over. So it wouldn't be really fair to judge Triple H since we don't know his entire body of work yet. It could get a lot worse before it, for as much good stuff as Triple H has done, it could get a lot worse. A lot like it did with Vince. Daniel said, I wish we would get the real story behind Starrcade 97, but I know we won't. Oh, we never will. We'll get different sides of the story. I mean, Sting's account of that story will be as real as it ever gets. Bischoff, I would only half-heartedly believe. And Hogan's dead, so we'll only ever really get Sting's version as the real version, or as close to it as possible. Grunt said, fun chatting as always. Thank you, Grunt. Appreciate that. And Grunt also said, never forget zoomed-in Roman face. I would rather forget about that because the alternative of AJ's Titantron hitting and that showing instead would have been a lot better, but we didn't get that. You could still see that on you can still get that on YouTube, thankfully. Is the zoomed in Roman face. And yeah, you can see that on YouTube and that angle of it. Alexis joining at the very last second here saying this is a vibe. I love it. Well, thank you, but we're about to head on out of here with this Royal Rumble watch along. So I will probably put up another question at some point. I may not even put it up on the channel as far as on the community tab. We might just randomly go live one day in the next week with a Rumble watch along. Like I said, as of now, we might do a Rumble watch along on the show on Thursday, rewatching the 2011 Rumble, possibly, if not the 2014 or 2015 one with Mr. Marceau. So stay tuned for that coming up on Thursday. On Wednesday, we'll be dropping the top 25 Royal Rumble rankings, not here on the channel, not as a video, but as an article on Bleacher Report. Myself and Eric Beast, another fellow writer for the site, we're going to be breaking down the top 25 Royal Rumbles of all time. That's coming up on BR on Wednesday, so keep an eye out for that article. On Monday, we're going to be doing a video ranking here on the channel of potential Royal Rumble winners for this year's Rumble. Who's the most likely, least likely? Found a tier list on tiermaker.com that someone put together, ranking all the potential winners for the Rumble this year. Everyone from Chris Jericho and friggin' Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker and Brock Lesnar to Tongaloa and JC Mateo and Alex Shelley. Where would I rank those people as far as potential Royal Rumble winners? That's coming up here on the channel on Monday. Tuesday is the Royal Rumble game signups, so keep an eye out for that. If you want to sign up for the Royal Rumble game 2026, that will be the, I think, 14th annual Royal Rumble game, which is incredible that we've done it for this long. That will be going on specifically on Twitter and on WrestleRant.com, so check out the post when I put that up at some point in the next couple days. The signups should open around 8 p.m. Eastern time, and depending on how that goes, If it doesn't go well on social, like on Twitter and on the website and whatnot, we might open it up to YouTube and future installments. But for this year, we're going to keep it exclusive to Twitter and WrestleRant.com and the post I typically put up on the site. So if you want to sign up for the game, check out the article when it goes up in the next couple days. Sign-ups open on Tuesday night. Let me know what spots you want in the men's and women's Rumble. And if you win either Rumble game, you can earn a free t-shirt from the WrestleRant t-shirt store, ProWrestlingTees.com, courtesy of Alexis, all designs made by her. And then last but not least, either on Wednesday or at some point, I will very likely be putting up my Unreal Season 2 review. I haven't finished the show yet. I watched 4 of the 5 episodes. We talked a lot about Unreal with RJ on Thursday's WrestleRant Radio. I will finish the show, put together a full written, or rather audio-video review here for the channel, coming up at some point either Wednesday or some point next weekend, the day after the Rumble. I'm not sure yet. But my full review of Unreal Season 2, also coming up at some point in the next week. So a lot of stuff going on within the next week, a lot of articles to look forward to, videos, reviews, and whatnot, including Saturday night's main event tonight. I will not be doing a watch-along of that show. Maybe at some point down the road that we can. That would be fun for those watching live. But I will be watching the show at some point, and we'll have a full written review up of that show available on WrestleRant.com within the next, hopefully, 24 hours at some point tomorrow. Later tonight, we'll see. So keep an eye out for that. With all that being said, folks, want to shout out one more time our channel members. Those include Alexis Miss Maud Matthews, who popped in here a moment ago, Dillon DiGiacomo, Mrs. Renee, Daniel Malcolm at I'm Quarter on X, DJ Swerve1 at Swerve1 on IG, RJ Marceau at RJ_Marceau on X, John Ritland, Real Honesty with John Ritland on YouTube, Richie Red Planet Wrestling on YouTube, and Average Grunt at GruntWrestling.BlueSky.social on Blue Sky. And like I said before, guys, be sure to like the video on the way out. Subscribe. All that support is greatly appreciated. Consider signing up for a WrestleRant All Access Pass channel membership to get videos early and ad-free. You get a badge next to your name in the comments. Have your name highlighted as well. Shout-outs at the beginning and end of every single live stream that we do here on the channel. And so much more. So on that note, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy Saturday night's main event tonight. Enjoy the Rumble next Saturday. I will not be doing a watch-along for that show. I'll be watching with some other people, so I will not be live for that. But maybe in the next week we'll do another Rumble watch-along here on the channel. So turn on notifications to find out the next time that we're live for that. But if we don't go live for a Rumble watch-along in the next week for a random Rumble watch-along on a specific anniversary of whatever Rumble it might be, we will be live next here on the channel on Tuesday for #AskGSM. So until then, guys, have an awesome one. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.